Hey guys, so today we are continuing the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, chapter 6, The Man with the Twisted Lip, part 3. So last time we stopped till here. Let's continue. Boone was arrested and taken to the police station, but there was no record that he committed any crime before this. He was a professional beggar, and his life had been simple and innocent. We need to find now what Neville was doing at the opium den and what happened to him. We don't even know where he is right now or if he is even alive. In my professional life, I have never faced such a challenge as this case had put forward. It seemed so simple, but has proven to be quite complicated one. Sherlock remarked. We reached our destination and were unsure inside. Mistress St. Clair welcomed us and looked at Sherlock with hopeful eyes. He could only shake his head. Mr. Sherlock Holmes, I wish to ask you some things, and I hope that you will answer them in all sincerity, the woman said. Certainly I will, madam, Sherlock replied. I wish to hear a real opinion about my husband. Do you think Neville is still alive? She asked. Sherlock seemed upset with the question. He hung his head low and in a sad voice, Frankly, madam, I do not think so. Then, Holmes, could you be so kind as to explain me how a dead person has sent me a letter today? She said. Sherlock looked startled. What? Startled and said, What? Mr. St. Clair showed Sherlock a letter, which she swore was from her husband. It had his wedding ring enclosed in it. She said that the handwriting was definitely Neville's, especially when he writes in a hurry. It was posted that very day from Gravesend. Sherlock looked at the letter closely and said, This is not your husband's writing, madam, he explained. The name is in black ink, but the rest of the writing is of greyish color. It shows the blotting paper was used. The writer was not familiar with the address, and as there is a pause after writing the name. But Mistress St. Clair insisted. The woman's intuition that letter was indeed from her husband, and she knew he was alive and well. She was sure that the letter was from him because he had enclosed a signet ring with it. Sherlock again asked Mistress St. Clair whether she was sure her husband had written the letter. She replied that she was sure about it, as she asserted that if anything evil had happened to her husband, she would have known it in her heart. She gave the example of the day when he went away. It was in the dining room and Neville had cut himself in the bedroom. Instinctively, I rushed upstairs to check on him. It is possible that I would respond in this manner for such a small thing, yet remain ignorant of his death, she asked. I believe that a woman's institution is more valuable than the conclusion of an expert in some cases. Sherlock agreed. If your husband is alive, why should he remain away from you, Sherlock? Asked Sherlock. Did he say something to you before leaving on Monday? He asked the lady. No. Were you surprised to see him in Swandam Lane? Did he call you? The questioning went on. Yes, I was surprised, and it was possible that he might have called me. He waved his hands. The lady replied, It might have been a cry of surprise at having seen you there. After seeing you, he must have pulled back himself and you thought someone had pulled him. Did you, sorry, um, did you see anyone else in the room? Sherlock continued his questioning. No, there was no one else, she replied. Sherlock asked her a few questions about the clothes that her husband was wearing. He thanked the lady and we had supper and went to bed. Sherlock always had a hard time sleeping when he had questions that needed answering. He gathered up some cushions and laid them on the ground, then changed into a dressing gown. He sat crossed-legged against the cushions, took his pipe and started smoking. I drifted up to sleep and woke up only when I heard a loud sound. The room was full of smoke from the tobacco, but none of the tobacco was left. You awake yet? Sherlock asked me. Yes, I said, rubbing my eyes. Would you like to go for a morning drive? Well, since I'm awake, I think I may as well join you. I said. I woke up and got dressed. As I freshened up, I glanced at the watch, and the time was 4:25 a.m., which is why everyone was still sleeping. I want to test a little theory formed during the night, Sherlock said, putting on his boots. I have to be the biggest fool in the entire world, but I think I have found the key to cracking this case open. And where, if I may ask? Have you found the key? I asked. In the bathroom, my dear Watson. Don't look surprised. I have just been there, and I have the key in this bag right here, he said, showing me the bag. We shall test if this key does indeed fit the lock. So that's it for part 3 of chapter 6, The Man with the Twisted Lip, from the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. See you in the next video. Bye.